Once upon a time, there was a group of peoples who settled on the banks of the Great Nile in an environment rich in history and culture. These peoples, who were known as workers, were characterized by their tall stature and the ability to build magnificent monuments. They passed knowledge through generations until they reached Adam, peace be upon him. Among them was a powerful king who was considered the founder of ancient Egyptian civilization. He built huge edifices and founded cities that made the sun revolve around different eras of the Tif. Despite his strength, not much was known about this king, but he was central in shaping Egypt's identity. With the passage of time, the permanent question for Pharaoh about the truth of the first era of Egypt became urgent questions such as who built the pyramids? What is the story of those wonderful monuments that reflect the greatness of Egyptian civilization? When God sent Moses, peace be upon him, he asked Pharaoh about the first centuries, which revealed a deep desire to understand the past. Egyptian history dates back to tens of thousands of years. According to what scholars such as Herodotus and Ibn Kathir have confirmed, archaeological discoveries have shown that civilization in the Nile Valley is deeply rooted in antiquity and not just a few thousand years old as some circles believe. In the 5th century BC, the Greek historian Herodotus was trying to gather details about this unknown history. Upon his arrival in Egypt, he was shocked by the fact that the ancients believed that the sun rose twice in one day, a phenomenon that indicates ancient astronomical events. Later studies confirmed that Egyptian civilization is very old, reaching more than 50,000 years. When the remains of a skeleton dating back to 550 years were discovered, scientists considered this evidence of an advanced civilization. However, at the same time, other skeletons were found that date back to shorter periods of time, which led to the question of whether Egyptian civilization had emerged only 7,000 years ago. How did the inhabitants of the Nile Valley live for more than 45,000 years without any civilization? Some historians believe that Adam, peace be upon him, when he descended to earth, was aware of with knowledge, which contradicts the common idea of primitive man. The Holy Quran mentions that God taught Adam all the names, which indicates that humanity in its early ages was able to think and innovate. There are indications in ancient inscriptions that indicate that Egyptian civilization was very advanced. The inscriptions on the walls and columns show that the early Egyptians had knowledge and technology that surpassed what existed in later ages, while the pharaohs, despite their strength, relied on what they inherited from previous civilizations. All these factors raise questions about the identity of the pharaohs and their relationship with the civilization that preceded them. Were they the true descendants? Or were they the heirs of a great civilization that preceded them by far? These questions require deep research to understand the unknown history. When God sent Moses, peace be upon him, to call Pharaoh to worship God, he raised a deep question that reflects Pharaoh's passion for true knowledge of the civilization of the Nile Valley. Was it Pharaoh seeks to understand what is behind these landmarks, and what are the sources of their power in the 21st century? Recent discoveries have shown that some sites, such as Madain Saleh, contain traces of animals and plants that no longer exist, indicating that the area was of a completely different nature in previous eras. In addition, traces were found around the Sphinx, indicating that it was part of an aquatic environment in the rainy ages, opening new horizons for understanding ancient civilization. Evidence indicates that Egyptian civilization is not just a group of pharaonic families, but rather the product of a long and complex history. In the end, answering questions related to the Nile Valley civilization and the pharaohs is not easy, but requires continuous study and deep research. There is a lot of mystery in history, but an increasing understanding of archaeological evidence and ancient writings can help us reconstruct this unknown history. The Nile Valley civilization deserves more. From exploration to understanding its depth and richness,